Let's talk about a fight that feels almost mythical at this point. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. More than a decade after their first meeting, both men became legends in completely different ways. On one side, you've got Conor McGregor, the biggest star in MMA history and one of the most dangerous counter strikers the sport has ever seen. On the other side, you've got Max Holloway, the volume punching machine, and one of the most violent lightweight matchups the UFC can make. Yanez versus Paddy Pimblett. This isn't just another top 10 showdown. This is a potential title eliminator between two of the most entertaining fighters in the lightweight division, officially scheduled for the co-main event of UFC 329. First fight of the night, Cody Durden versus Alessandro Costa. Cody Durden, old school pressure wrestler. Everything starts with forward pressure, pretty much. Constantly looking to force opponents backwards, close the distance, get his hands locked around the hips. His wrestling isn't flashy per se, but it's relentless and it's consistent. He's always going forward. He changed single legs into doubles, trips against the fence, and the mat returns. You know, even if he doesn't finish every takedown, he's making opponents work every second, and he's putting in that effort. And if I had to give him a strength, I think is the high level wrestling that Durden possesses. He has good conditioning. I don't think I've ever watched a fight and I'm like, man, Durden is getting tired, man. He's looking like he's gassed out. His tank is depleting. I wish that matched his skill set overall, but yeah, he has the high level wrestling. He has the relentless pressure, excellent conditioning, like I said, and he's the more experienced fighter, in my opinion. But he's very hittable, man. Cody Durden is absolutely hittable. When opponents stop his first few takedowns, it starts to go downhill, and that's something you always see in his fights. His striking sometimes becomes predictable when he starts getting hit. So against dangerous submission players, you know, his neck is always exposed. But Costa, on the other hand, much more of a technical kickboxer. The guy is patient. He likes maintaining distance, landing clean combinations, and his body kicks they're bad, man. They're bad. When I was watching the tape study, I was like, yeah, this guy's body kicks are lethal. And if I had to give him some strengths, I would say the technical boxing for sure. He does have submission threats. He's not no slouch on the ground, and I feel like he's good with mixing things up. But let's see. I think Durden is coming off. He's coming off a win, right? I know he won his last fight and he was a big underdog. Yeah, coming off a win against Andre Filo. Costa, on the other hand, coming off a win against Matt Chanel. In this fight, I think I'm going to go with Costa, man. Cody Durden stepping in this last minute. I don't think it's going to go well for him. I'll say maybe like a round 2 knockout. I think that's how this fight is going to end. Costa has those hands, man. I think it's going to be a TKO because he's going to keep landing those body kicks. I'm sure Durden has been training, but he hasn't been training for Costa. So I'm going to go with Costa on this fight. Next fight, we got Gandra versus Zachry. Yeah, Zachry Reese. So Gandra, fairly new to the UFC, but he's aggressive, man. From the opening bell, he likes forcing opponents into uncomfortable exchanges. He's willing to take risks if it's meant to create finishes for opportunities. That's always the goal of being aggressive with the guy. And he has the physical strength. I think he's a bigger fighter. I mean, you can see just from the images right here. He has good pressure. And he has a good chin. He has good durability. And he's a finisher. He's not a point fighter, not trying to win a fight. He's trying to finish you. But with his aggressive method, it leads him to be a little bit reckless, right? He's a little bit reckless. He can get careless and he tends to make mistakes. He gets too aggressive, in my opinion. Zachary, on the other hand, very explosive. One of those fighters who either wins quickly or loses trying. It's always a 50-50. And he has finishing instincts but I don't think he's that much of a finisher like Gandra. So I think if this fight stays standing early, Reese probably has the advantage. His length creates problems. His kick game is difficult to solve. I think that's what we're gonna see. But if Gandra survives early, he's going to start forcing those clinches, and I think he's going to survive early. Let's see. Can't remember the last guys they fought, but Gandra coming off a win against Daniel Almeida, and then Zachry Reese, I think, is coming off a loss, right? Yeah, Michelle Pereira beat Zachry Reese. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gandra here. I think he's gonna take this one by a decision. I think this is a safe bet. Close fight, close fight. Let's see what are most people saying on Tipology. Yeah, people are picking him to win by KO. Now, I'm gonna stick with decision. I'm gonna stick with decision for him. Next fight, we got Farid Basharat versus John Garza. This one should be interesting. I don't know. I feel like, actually, hold on. One second. I think I got Basharat here, man. It's not a lot of tape on John Garza. It's not a lot. He's not that experienced. Only has 7 fights. This is gonna be his first fight in the UFC, and Basharat is undefeated. Like, am I really about to sit here and do some type of technical breakdown between these guys? It really doesn't matter, right? 90% of fighters who debut the UFC lose their first fight. Not to talk about someone who's 6'1", fighting someone who's undefeated. 15 fights undefeated. So I'm gonna go with Basharat. I might be wrong. You know, Basharat, I'm not a fan or anything. I think he's decent, but I think this is an easy win for him. I'm gonna go with Basharat by a decision. I think anyone who's picking Garza is just, you know, trying their luck to win some easy money, but I don't think that's gonna happen. This is gonna be a good fight. This right here. We got Damian Pinas versus César Almeida. First of all, I totally forgot Pinas, right? And initially I picked Almeida until I was like, wait, I'm having some images of this guy. I'm having some image of this guy having a nasty KO, and he did against Schultz. This guy is dangerous, man. I'm keeping my eye on him. Middleweight division, of course, makes sense. The middleweight division has been stacking up, man. But in his fight style, he's, in my opinion, when you watch his tapes, his fights, he only has 1 fight in the UFC, but I was able to find some footage. The guy is, he's balanced. He's well-rounded, honestly speaking. He doesn't rely exclusively on one thing, right? Instead, he mixes striking and wrestling and clinches, pressure, all that stuff. He likes wearing opponents down over time rather than looking for a huge moment. He's very disciplined. He doesn't get too aggressive, too carried away, and he picks the right time to mix things up. Now, of course, he's in the UFC now, so we're gonna get a better picture of how he truly fights facing the elites. But I think César is going to be a good test for him. César, on the other hand, he's been in UFC for a while. Almeida, one of the most dangerous pure strikers in the UFC, coming from an elite kickboxing background. I think he was a champion. He has good timing, man. He has a brutal left hook. What did I just say? He has a brutal left hook. And he has some nasty calf kicks, and that's going to be a problem. So it's going to be like a kickboxer versus a well-rounded MMA fighter. That's what it's going to be. Pinas is going to try his best to make Almeida think about everything. But Almeida has more experience, but then again, the guy be flinching a lot, man. I think Almeida is coming off a loss. Yeah, against Alessandro. Like, it's like, bro, Alessandro is like a gatekeeper at this point. How can you be losing to this guy? It was a disappointing loss. Not like I'm a fan, but I'm gonna go with Pinas here, man. Is he an underdog? Is Pinas an underdog? Yeah, of course not. He's the favorite. Never mind. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Pinas. I think he's gonna get a knockout. The guy is strong, man. I'll say round 3. Put some respect on Almeida's name. All right, we are going through this card, man. No time, brothers. No time, brothers, ladies and gentlemen. Next fight, we got Tracy Cortez versus Wang Cong. This one is really interesting because I think Tracy Cortez is going to win this fight. People are sleeping on her. Tracy Cortez only loses to like the top of the top. But Wang Cong is dangerous, and she's been looking better. I do want Cong to win, but I don't know. I just can't pick him. It's a pick and fight. It's a pick and fight. So I actually agree. Cong was initially a favorite, and I was like, man, Tracy is a good underdog money. And then by the time I was ready to put something on her, it was too late. Stupid shit. But Tracy Cortez, one of the best pressure wrestlers in the women's flyweight for sure. I gotta give her credit. She has high levels wrestling, but when it comes to facing the top of the top, she always struggles, man. She has good cardio, I would say that, and she has good pace. But her striking is subpar, man. It's not up there. It's not impressive. Cong, on the other hand, is the complete opposite stylistically. In fact, the only thing about Cong is versus Tracy is that Tracy has faced more experienced fighters. She's more experienced in the UFC at least. But Cong prefers to fight long. She has explosive hands, quick footwork, isn't afraid to throw combinations in the pocket. And I really do like that Cong got humbled because she was kind of arrogant, doing all that cringy Joker stuff. But as she lost to who did she lose to? Such an embarrassing loss. What was her name? And she just the woman that beat her just got knocked out. What is wrong with this shit? I forgot her name, but she was Brazilian. Why is this shit not loading? Whatever, doesn't matter. But I think I'm gonna. I've been going back and forth with this one, like literally on this stream. I literally said I'm gonna go with Tracy Cortez, but now I'm like, I think I'm gonna go with Cong because she has hands. I think she's a better striker, but I don't know if she has enough pressure to like back Tracy off because Tracy has a lot of pressure. Tracy Cortez fights relentless when you're below her in the rankings, but for some reason when she's fighting anybody who's above her in the rankings, it's like she changes to a shy fighter. Doesn't make any sense. But I'm gonna go with Cong, man. I'm gonna go with Cong just because I want her to win, honestly. But this is a pick'em fight. I don't think there's a wrong pick with this fight. So I'm gonna go with Wang Cong for this one. Next, we got Luke Riley versus Kamaka. This is gonna be a fun fight, 100%. Kamaka, known for his volume. He throws combinations instead of single shots. His boxing is clean. All right. He has good boxing. Especially his jab and his right hand. He's constantly moving forward, forcing opponents to fight at his pace. Now, while he's a striker, his boxing is his main trait. He does good work in the clinch for sure. And, you know, he lands good takedowns here and there. But Riley, man, although Riley is newer in the UFC, he's undefeated for a reason. He's younger, he's faster, he carries serious finishing power. He's more of a finisher for sure. He's very dangerous in transition, whether that's during striking exchanges or grappling scrambles. His athleticism allows him to explode into combinations quickly before the opponents can respond. Now, their last fights, I think Kai was in the PFL, if I'm remembering correctly, and then he got into the UFC. How many? Yeah. So he's coming off a draw and then a win. Luke Riley is newer in the UFC, but he looks promising in the featherweight division, man. I think this guy is gonna be top 10 by next year. Not by the end of next year, I would say that. Definitely makes his presence known. I'm gonna go with Riley in this one, man. To me, I don't really agree with these odds. I think they're kind of wide, but I think Riley takes this one for sure. He looks like in this picture right here, he looks like he's not even supposed to be here. But the guy's dangerous, man. It's dangerous, and that's why 92% of people are picking him. All right, next we got Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. Oh gosh, no offense, like Cody Garbrandt is cool and all, but man, this guy is probably the worst UFC champion of all time, man. He had good footwork, his hand speed is elite, but it's reduced, and he's a good counter striker. But man, that chin, bruh, that chin is a serious problem. It really is. But However, he's had different shortfalls. I'm not gonna lie. When you compare him to Adrian Yanez is not like the most elite fighter, right? He's okay. And anytime he tries to get up in the rankings, he always fails that test. But he's dangerous. He's clean with his boxing. His combinations are really nice. Everything that comes behind him is sharp and put together. On his good nights, sometimes he just looks like a dunk. But if I had to give him strength, I would say technical boxing. Yanez has that, and he has the combination boxing. What are the odds on this one? Golly, Adrian Yanez is a -425. That's disrespectful, man. That's messed up. But with that being said, I am picking Adrian Yanez to win this fight. I mean, Cody. I mean, his last fight, who did he beat? I think he beat a no-name, and then like at the end of the fight, he was running away or something like that. It was such a weird fight. Yeah, I remember. Such a bullshit fight. But look at this, man. Anytime he fights anyone who has any type of name, Garbrandt loses, man. He loses. And Yanez is literally in that category. So I got Garbrandt. Next fight, we got Gable Steveson versus Elijah Ellison. Like, let's be real here. Gable Steveson, the guy's making his UFC debut, former Olympic champion. It's obvious the UFC wants him to win, right? Obviously, they want him to win. They gave him a layup, and that's what this is. This guy has never fought in the UFC, right? It's not a real test. It's pretty much to just introduce him to the UFC, and they know what they're doing, and it's the right thing to do. Can he pull an offset? Who knows? Maybe. But Gable Steveson is actually pretty decent in MMA. I'm not gonna lie. He is. I think he's gonna have a semi-successful career in MMA. Everyone knows him because of his wrestling. That's what he's known for. But what separates him from other decorated wrestlers isn't just the credentials. It's how athletic he is. He's really athletic, man. He is. At nearly 260 pounds, he moves like a middleweight. He's very fast, has good footwork, has good explosiveness. I think he has good, again, this is going to be a test, but he has hands in like power. He puts people out. And the level changing is just unmatched. This guy is probably going to be the best wrestler in UFC, but I think he actually is a good MMA artist. But we are going to see, man. We're going to see. Of course, he has the Olympic level wrestling, incredible athleticism, masterclass takedowns. He's big. He's going to be bigger. And he actually has good cardio, but very limited MMA experience. Very, very limited. Even this guy, Elijah Ellison, who's 5-2, has more experience than Gable Steveson, who's 3-0. So Elijah, on the other hand, though, like I said, it's just a layup. It's not a lot you can find from this guy. He's comfortable striking in the pocket. That's about it. And he's willing to absorb he's willing to absorb shots. But I don't know if that's a good thing. So I'm going to go with Gable Steveson by a submission. I think he'll take him down in round 1, get some ground and pounds, find the neck, and lights out. It's a layup fight. That's what is supposed to happen. If he doesn't win this fight, I don't know. This fight right here, Nikita Krylov versus Robert Whittaker. First of all, what is this mismatch? They got Nikita Krylov with Whittaker's image, and then they got Whittaker with Nikita Krylov's image. Very weird. The person who runs this website needs some talking to. But this fight is so random, man. When this fight was announced, first of all, I heard, oh yeah, Robert Whittaker is moving to middleweight. I was like, okay. At this time in his career, sure, I understand it. There's no way he's going to be a champion anymore, right? He's not going to fight for no damn belt. It's not delusional. That's not happening. So may as well try new things if he's not retiring. But then when they announced this one, I'm like, wait, it's so random. But Whittaker, one of the smartest fighters in the UFC, his style revolves around movement, timing, controlled aggression. His signature weapon is the jab, man. If you don't have an answer to Whittaker's jab, it's going to be a problem. Everything begins with the jab. He uses it to measure distance before exploding forward with combinations. And of course, his famous 1-2 followed by a head kick has become one of the trademarks defensively. He's excellent at it, honestly speaking. So Whitaker has the elite footwork. He has the outstanding jab. He has good high-level fight IQ, and Whitaker's cardio is actually pretty good. And of course, he has more championship experience. Whitaker has fought way better fighters than Nikita Krylov. Krylov, man, this guy was actually a problem at some point, but bro, he just declined badly. The inactivity, getting finished every time, is like, but he's still one of those rare fighters who can finish you almost anywhere. Like Krylov is one of those guys who's like not great anywhere, but he's good everywhere. Knockout, submission, ground and pound, he's won in all ways. So that's a problem. But I think Whitaker is just too good, man. Instead, it says Whitaker second round TKO. Yes, that's what I'm gonna go with. I was gonna go with Whitaker TKO, but thanks for giving me the second round, because I agree with that. I agree with that prediction. I don't know. I feel like Krylov should retire. He's coming off a win, but who was it? Now I don't even know who to click on. Okay, now they got it fixed. He's coming off a win against Bukaskas. I did not expect that one, but that was a nice win. But yeah, I got Whitaker in this one, man. Next one. Yo, this fight, man. This fight is the OG versus the YN. King Green versus Terrence McKinney. This is going to be an aggressive fight, and I don't think it's going to go past round 1. Because if you watch Terrence McKinney, right? Terrence McKinney either wins or loses in round 1. He just doesn't go past it. I feel like before he became an MMA fighter, he made some agreement with the MMA gods like, look, it's not about winning or losing, but every fight I'm in ends in a finish, and it doesn't go past round 1. King Green, one of the slickest boxers the lightweight division has ever seen. Even till now, as old as he is, he's slick with it. And like, if you're not careful, he could literally beat anyone with a decision. But he fights with his hands low. It's a nice style, and it's a nice way of luring people in and then landing the counter. But I don't think that would be a good strategy against McKinney. I don't think so. And all that talking he does, I don't know. But one thing he really does defensive wise is rolling with the shots. He really knows how to deflect it. Honestly, if you're taking a boxing class and you want to know how to like roll with the shots when it's coming through, gotta watch King Green, man. Not a lot of boxers actually do it like him, honestly speaking. Not saying he's like better than a lot of boxers. Don't get like, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying specifically when it comes to the defense and rolling with the shots, King Green is pretty good. So his strengths, elite defensive boxing, outstanding head movement, and he actually has good takedown defense and fight IQ. But he does rely on reflexes and he keeps his hands low. McKinney, on the other hand, total chaos, bro. This guy is just something else. He's a force to be reckoned with. He may be the fastest starter in the lightweight division. I think he's still, no, someone beat that the last two fight nights, but he has one of the fastest finishes in UFC. Everything he throws has bad intentions. McKinney is not trying to fight. He's trying to hurt and finish his opponents. Overhand rights, flying knees, double power doubles, guillotines. He can do it all. He's actually well-rounded. Constantly hunting for finishes. Literally, once they ring that bell, McKinney is looking for a finish. So he has the explosive power, the athleticism, the wrestling, the submission ability, and the way he starts is just too fast, man. I just feel like Bobby Green is older and slower. Although he fights like someone who's younger than his age, I think he's still too slow for McKinney, man. He has absolutely no chance on the ground against McKinney if he gets there. If McKinney's having problems, he's going to take it there. McKinney is a slight favorite, which I'm actually surprised. I don't know, maybe I'm sleeping on Green, but I think this is a fight for McKinney to win. Like I said, there are ways for Bobby Green to win. He sneaks and wins, right? like when you're when Bobby Green is fighting, right? He keeps on with the jabs, the slick boxing, rolling with the punches, but then it's like these fighters forget that time is going and the rounds are going, and then all of a sudden they see themselves losing by a decision. His last fight submitted Jeremy Stephens. Ironic, because I said he has no ground game, and I still stand by it against McKinney. Man, that's not happening. Knocked out Zell Huber. That was impressive. And Gibson Jr. So he's on a nice 3-fight win streak. Very impressive. And he does have a chance to win this fight. But I don't think these odds should be as close as they are. Maybe King Green is a good underdog. We'll get into that in the parlay section at the end of this. But I'm going to go with McKinney, man. I'm going to go with McKinney by a knockout. I'll say round 1, man. I was about to say round 2, but what? McKinney does not go past round 1. He's either finishing you or he's getting finished. Look at this shit, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In his last 7 fights, man, the fight ends in round 1. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat right there. Win or lose. That's the thing about McKinney. He's so inconsistent. But one thing's for sure, it's ending in a finish. And you know what you're not going to see on here? At least with his UFC fights, you're not going to see a 3. Never enters round 3. So even if he somehow passes round 1, it's going to end in that second round. So that's what's exciting about him. But I got McKinney by round 1 knockout. It says McKinney by first round KO. Yes, sir. McKinney. Yeah. That's a wild stat. Jacob Fight Coach. What's up, Jacob Fight Coach? How's it going, man? All right. Now things are getting more exciting. Next fight, we got Brandon Royval versus Lerone Kavanagh. Kavanagh just crept his way in the flyweight division and has just been going up the rankings, man, out of nowhere. But this guy is really put together, man. I'm becoming a fan of him. But this is going to be a big test, man. This is going to be a big test. Where's Kavanagh in the rankings and where's Royval right now? Let me see. Let me check that real quick. So we got Lerone Kavanagh is number 5. Brandon Royval is number 4. So there's a good chance that after this fight, Kavanagh might have one more fight. And if he wins that, he'll fight for the belt, which is crazy. Flyweight needs fighters, man, for sure. But it's getting stacked, man. You got Manal Kape. Tyra is still there. Somebody has to beat him before they get above him for sure. Although I don't see him fighting this year because that fight against Joshua Vaughn was just, it was brutal for both guys. But I digress. Royval thrives in chaos. That's his fight style, all right? His style is difficult to prepare for because he constantly attacks from unconventional positions. He's dangerous standing, he's dangerous scrambling, he's dangerous off his back. So very few lightweights attack submissions as aggressively as Royval, honestly speaking. Even when he's losing positions, he's creating threats. Standing, Royval throws long combinations, elbows, spinning attacks, knees, you name it. Very, very unorthodox. And he has good elite submission game, high volley striking, and endless cardio, honestly speaking. And Royval can get really creative. But skill-wise, I think compared to Kavanagh, he might be lacking a little bit. More of a dog than a technical fighter. Lerone Kavanagh, on the other hand, one of the UFC's brightest young flyweight prospects, like I said. The guy is really making a name for himself. He's much more structured than Royval. He prefers clean technique over chaos. And most of the time, that's the winner, man. That's the winner. Sometimes you need chaos. Sometimes you need to make it a dog fight, right? You need to make it brutal, aggressive, all that stuff. But most times, technique beats chaos. But Kavanagh's boxing fundamentals are really excellent, man. He has nice jabs, nice hooks, knows when to throw each. His wrestling has steadily improved as well. We saw that with his fight against Brandon Royval. Royval could not take him down. So he has the technical boxing, the speed, and I think he's more athletic and more disciplined. He's not gonna get careless. Now, this is a big test. We've not seen Kavanagh in like deep waters, and Royval knows how to put fighters in deep waters. I think we're gonna see that, and we will see how he gets out of that. But this fight is pretty much structure versus unpredictability. That's what it's gonna be. Royval is going to try his best to make it chaos. Kavanagh will stay disciplined, but I got Kavanagh, man. I got Kavanagh. Royval is on the tail end of his career, in my opinion. They're looking good for Kavanagh, but I got Kavanagh by a decision. I think it's going to be a dominant decision. Yeah, a lot of people are picking Kavanagh. A lot of favorites on this card. Next fight, we got Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista, man. This is actually the hardest fight for me to pick. It's so hard, man. I've been going back and forth, and this is the second fight with these guys. They've met each other before. Sandhagen won, but the main question is, which fighter has improved more in this one, in this fight? That's the main question. Who has improved more? Who has shown his hungrier? Who has had a better career since they met? That it's a hard one, man. It's a hard one. I've been going back and forth with this one. Corey Sandhagen, one of the most creative strikers in MMA, honestly speaking. He's constantly switching stances. He attacks from unusual angles. Like, he does anything, expects anything. He has good footwork. One of the best, honestly speaking, in the UFC. He's always moving awkwardly, hard to hit. But he's just a confusing fighter. His combinations when he's in his zone or something else, man. So I feel like Sandhagen has the footwork, the elite movement. He has the fight IQ. He has the creativity. He has good cardio. Bautista, on the other hand, I feel like Mario Bautista is more well-rounded. And he's quietly become one of the division's most complete fighters. Honestly. Every time you watch him, he's like, okay, he's a good striker. Oh, he's a good grappler. He's a good striker. Oh, he's good. He's good everywhere, honestly speaking. He's fundamentally excellent everywhere. He's like very, very good. And he's underrated. A lot of people sleep on him, man. His boxing is crisp. His wrestling is underrated. His submissions are dangerous. He doesn't rely on flashy techniques. This guy just wants to win. That's the thing about Bautista. I remember his fight against, I think it was Aldo. A lot of people were pissed with that fight, man. I was like, you know what? I don't blame the guy, man. He's trying to get a win against the legend. What can you say? But yeah, I think Bautista is more well-rounded. He has good wrestling, excellent boxing, and he has good composure. You never watch Bautista fight and you're like, man, this guy looks broken, right? Looks like it's over for him. It's never over until it is. Sandhagen by third late round knockout, a comeback KO. If anybody would do that on this card, it's definitely Sandhagen. That's what he's good at. He'll be losing the whole fight, but he'll come this time. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised. This one is hard, man. This one is hard. Sandhagen, a slight favorite. What was Bautista's last fight? I think he lost to, he lost to Vinicius Oliveira. You know what? I was close to picking Bautista, but fight against Oliveira shows Bautista's problem. Once he runs into someone who has a good defensive takedown and elite striking, it's a problem for him. Also lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. But before that, man, this guy was on a nice, good win. Fraud checked Patchy Mix for the third time. I'm trying to see his record. I know he had a very, very nice win streak. Let's see if I can find the full card here. Before he lost to, let's check it out. Yep, all green before Umar. Oh, shit, he did beat Oliveira. What am I talking about? Of course. But my point still stands. Submitted Oliveira in the second round. He was just levels above, man. He was. But look at this guy's record, man. All green. Lost to Trevin Jones a while ago. But yeah, Corey Sandhagen was literally his first fight in the UFC. back in 2019. Now they're meeting again. Sandhagen, on the other hand, I think he's gotten the short end of the stick in this division. I really wanted this guy to fight for a belt, but it was always one thing or the other, always someone who's above him or falling short. Of course, he finally fought against Merab and lost, of course. But the way Merab, bruh, that shit was so... I don't even think Sandhagen won any round. He had one nice moment in that fight. Landed a nice knee or something like that, but that was about it. I'm not saying Batista is a good wrestler like Sandhagen, that like Merab, but look at the trend here, man. He lost to Merab, grappling, lost to Umar. Umar is well-rounded, but the grappling played a big part. I think Batista has the game plan here. Batista is just a way better mixed martial artist. He's more well-rounded, and I'm glad that he's an underdog because I'm picking Batista. I think Batista is gonna win this by a decision. I think he's gonna make it a grapple heavy fight. But like Emin said, man, never count Sandhagen out. He's that type of guy who's losing the whole fight, but then from nowhere, boom, knockout. Most people picking Sandhagen, but it's not far off. Yeah, I gotta write this one down because I gotta add Batista to my parlay or make a separate underdog bet. Batista is the underdog on this card for me. Then we get to the co-main events. I lied. This is the hardest fight. Okay, so we got several fights on this card that is like a pick 'em, right? We got Batista versus Sandhagen. We had who was the other one? It was one of the one else. Oh yeah, Tracy Cortez versus Wang. Cong. It's literally a pick 'em. But then Benoit Saint Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. Two fighters that I didn't really care for when they started their career, but as time has gone, my respect for them has grown immensely, and I actually appreciate them as fighters. I like both guys. This is gonna be a good fight, man. I think this is gonna be the best fight. This one is really hard, man. It's really hard. There is no right pick in this fight. This is not one of those fights where someone wins, you can come out and say, "See, I told you so." It's not gonna be close. I told you BSD was gonna win that shit. Like, yeah, duh. It's 50-50. Anybody could win. I told you Paddy was gonna win. Like, yeah, I know. It's a 50-50 fight, in my humble opinion. But BSD, bruh, pressure is everything with this guy, man. He wants opponents fighting backwards because when you're moving backwards, you're making decisions instead of executing your own game. BSD constantly attacks the body before going upstairs. His striking isn't the cleanest in the division, but it's relentless. Every punch is thrown with bad intentions. Where BSD becomes truly dangerous is once the fight hits the mat. That's where it's over with. That's where it's donezo. Ain't nothing else to do. Once it gets to the ground, it's a problem. But Paddy is literally going to be the best grappler that BSD has ever faced. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's even going to try to go there. Because, bruh, you don't want to be on the ground against Paddy Pimblett. You don't want to be on the ground against BSD. So it might be one of those fights where the grappling cancels each other and both guys just swang and bang. It might be one of those fights. Who knows? But BSD constantly attacks the body before going upstairs. His striking isn't the cleanest in the division, but it's absolutely relentless. Every punch is thrown with bad intentions. Where BSD becomes truly dangerous, like I said, is on the mat. He's one of the most aggressive submission hunters in the lightweight division. Unlike many grapplers who were content to hold position, BSD immediately begins advancing. He doesn't wait. Like literally, once he hits the mat, he's looking for submissions all over. No, man, I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. So BSD's strength, of course, he has the incredible pressure, elite cardio, dangerous submissions, excellent scrabbling. He's tough as well. Now, his weakness, sometimes he absorbs unnecessary damage. Every time he's lost a fight, that's literally how it happened. Taking a lot of shots. Look at his fights against Returning Moicano. Look at his fight against Dustin Poirier. But he and then the thing that leads to that a lot of times is the fact that he can become overly aggressive. But he's actually tuned that in a little bit. He's looked better. He looked really impressive in his fight against Ruffy, man. He looked composed but aggressive at the same time, if that makes sense. But Paddy, on the other hand, one of the most unique fighters in the lightweight division for sure, often focuses, you know, it's hard not to focus on his personality because his personality is loud. It's out there. But put that aside, he's actually a good fighter, man. His actual skill set is seriously underrated. And a lot of people have been underrating him. I stopped underrating Paddy when he beat because I remember when he was set to fight Chandler, a lot of people were still picking Chandler to win that fight. I was like, what are you guys talking about? I know you don't like Paddy, but goddamn, he's good. Yeah, when he submitted Bobby Green, that's when I was like, you know what? Fine. Paddy's a good fighter. And it's not because he beat Bobby Green. Obviously, beating Bobby Green is not this crazy achievement. It's the way he did it. Like, that was a very, very nice performance against Bobby Green. Very impressive. But he's underrated still. Fought against Gagey. Gagey destroyed him. And people were still talking about, oh yeah, Paddy got fraud checked. Haha. How can you lose to someone like Gagey? But now that loss has aged well because Gagey destroyed Ilia Topuria and nobody expected that. It makes you go back and look, maybe Gagey is just that guy that's always underrated as well, right? But Paddy is definitely underrated. And it reminds me, after this weekend, I'm gonna complete a list. There's a video I'm working on about all these guys. You know what? Let me take a note right now, actually, before I forget, because sometimes I'll be forgetting my video ideas, man. 1 second, guys. Let me just write this down. I have a video idea. Okay, but yeah, Paddy's he's underrated, man. He is. When it comes to his fight style, it's very awkward. His switches stances, throwing flying knees, front kicks, long combinations. He doesn't follow traditional fighting pattern, and that his stupid ass hair is distracting. It is, even when he braids it. But that unpredictability makes him difficult to prepare for. It's hard to train for someone like this. I train, trust me. It's hard to train for someone as awkward as him. His real strength, however, is the grappling. Paddy keeps looking bigger in each of his fights. Pause. Right? Like, he's imposing. He's always the bigger fighter. But in those scrambles, man, the strength and the size shows. Paddy has outstanding scrambles. If opponents expose their back even briefly, bruh, he'll jump on them immediately and he'll make you pay. And that's why I was like, man, I'm really curious to see how BSD approaches this. In my opinion, I feel like Paddy is the type of crazy ass fighter who is willing to test his grappling against BSD than vice versa. I think BSD has too much of a fight IQ to do something like that. Because at the end of the day, Paddy's bigger, right? The reach is actually the same, which is interesting. But BSD is 5'11", Paddy's 5'10". Is this accurate? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I can't wait to watch their face off because I always thought Paddy was bigger. Maybe his frame is bigger. I don't know. Interesting stuff. But this one is hard, man. This one is hard. The thing about Paddy is if opponents, if he's extremely dangerous from top position, I've never seen a fight that he gets on top and you're able to scramble out of it. I've never seen that with Paddy Pimblett. Just hasn't happened. Submission game is slick, especially the rear naked choke is something else, man. But yeah, he's underrated, man. Even when he's hurt, he doesn't panic. His fight against Gagey, he stood in there, toughed it out. So I'll give Paddy the submission ability, the scrambling, the creativity. And I already made a video about this, guys. So make sure you check it out after the stream if you want more detailed breakdowns. And I see you guys like the stylistic matchup videos. I'm going to keep doing that, man. I think that is the most, this year so far on my channel, that is the most liked type of video. So I'm going to keep doing that. I didn't know you guys really liked my technical breakdowns like that, but this year has shown me that you guys mess with that, man, and I appreciate you guys. All right, speaking of likes, go ahead and drop a like on this stream, man. Help out a small channel. But yeah, I was digressing because I still don't know who I want to pick here. This fight is fascinating because both men are dangerous everywhere. Honestly speaking, their striking is not that good, but I think they match. They're just, when you look at both guys, I can't sit here and tell you who's the better striker. They both make the same mistakes. They're both on the same level when it comes to striking. And they're similar when it comes to the grappling. They just approach it in a different way. BSD wants pressure. Paddy wants chaos. The difference is, where would that chaos occur? Is it going to be on the feet or on the mat? BSD wants relentless forward pressure that eventually leads to dominant top positions. Paddy welcomes scrambles, all right, because that's where he becomes incredibly dangerous. The striking exchanges are interesting as well. It's going to be chaotic, no technique. It might end up just being a striking fight because both guys are going to respect their ground game. Who knows? But another major factor is the pace, man. If BSD establishes his preferred pace early, Paddy could spend most of the fight reacting. But if Paddy slows the fight down and forces technical exchanges, he will have opportunities. But the thing here is the clinch, man. I think BSD is better in the clinch. I think so. I think Paddy is better in the scrambling. So with that being said, I think the biggest X factor in this fight is the durability. Neither man has shown a willingness to quit. Both guys are tough guys, man. Paddy's a scouser. BSD is a former Marine. Respect. But both guys are tough. That means the momentum swing could happen multiple times. I think both guys will win a round. I don't think this is going to be a one-sided fight at all. I don't know, man. In my official technical breakdown video, I picked BSD. Like, I don't know, man. This one is hard, but I think I'm gonna stick with BSD on this one. Like I said, there's no wrong pick here. I don't think anybody's gonna get a finish here. Yeah, 53-47. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of people are picking BSD because he's more likable. I think Paddy's personality is interrupting with being objective, but Paddy's really good, man. He's an elite fighter, but I'm gonna stick with BSD for now. Watch out for a video in case I switch my pick. And then finally, we get to the main event. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. After decades, almost a decade since their first fight, I'm surprised that Max Holloway is only a 205 favorite. I actually expected him to be a bigger favorite. But then again, when you think about it, has Conor McGregor not fought in 5 years? Yes. Has he been drunk and coked up for the amount of time he's been off? Yes. Is he coming off a loss? Yes. Coming off a horrendous injury? Yes. It doesn't make sense to be that inactive and have what he had a whole legal battle. Don't want to get into the details, but horrendous stuff. He was held civilly liable. Coming off all the benders, partying, drunk, drugged up, sending nudes, unsolicited nudes, all that stuff. Meanwhile, while Conor McGregor has been doing all that, what has Max Holloway been doing, bro? Max Holloway has been cementing his name in the Hall of Fame in MMA. While Conor McGregor has been taking drugs, drinking, going to court, acting movies, having high interviews, taking banned substances to heal from his horrendous injury, all that stuff. Max Holloway has fought Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje, Korean Zombie, Arnold Allen, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez, Calvin Kattar, bruh. And people are here trying to act like Conor McGregor has some type of chance. Now, to be fair, reality check. Yes, I've made several videos talking about how, oh man, this guy doesn't have a chance, bruh. I get it. But this is different. So I feel like the biggest wrong picks I've had so far were wrong picks for 95% of UFC fans, and that's Sean Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev and Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. Khamzat Chimaev and Ilia Topuria were huge favorites. Obviously, Chimaev was more dominant grappler. Felt like he was going to take Strickland down. I underestimated Strickland's takedown defense, but still, that was a huge upset. Very, very huge upset, right? Everybody was shocked. Even people who picked Sean Strickland. I know Strickland fans want to act like, oh man, it was so obvious. I told you Strickland was going to win, but we all know that's bullshit, right? We all know that's bullshit. Nobody really thought Strickland was going to win. Right? Unless you're a fan, which, you know, props to you. And it was a good win for Strickland. Same thing with Ilia versus Gaethje. Nobody really gave Gaethje a chance. People were complaining about that fight. It's so illegitimate, right? Ilia is supposed to be fighting Arman Tsarukyan. That's a more competitive fight. That's all I want to say. I'm very sure Ilia is regretting not fighting Arman, because I'm sure it would have been better to lose to Arman. But I digress. I'm just adding the context to those losses, which I felt like were one-sided. And not just me. Every freaking analyst on this app, on YouTube, everywhere. I didn't see any serious person who was picking Gaethje to win, except they were like Gaethje fans or fighters who are in his camp. You know, of course, if you're a fighter in his camp, you know something different. Your knowledge is different from what I know. But objectively speaking, Khamzat and Ilia were the right picks, especially with Ilia versus Gaethje. But this one is different, man. This one is different. Conor is not an active fighter. Like someone said in the chat earlier, it's very obvious he's trying to fight out his contract. That's what he's trying to do here, right? He already said he has a second fight. Is Conor McGregor supposed to come back after all this layoff and beat one of the best fighters in the last decade? Really? If that happens, then if Conor McGregor beats Max Holloway, you know what? I was gonna make a crazy bet, but I don't want you guys to hold me accountable. Okay, let me say it this way. If Conor McGregor comes back after all the stuff I just mentioned, beats Max Holloway after Max Holloway has beat or lose whatever, he's been super active. That's the point. If Conor McGregor comes back and beats Max Holloway, I'm going to consider not making breakdown videos anymore, because there's no point. That doesn't make any sense. That goes beyond any logic. Like, no, that just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. So I feel like guys are tripping when they're talking about, oh yeah, Conor McGregor is gonna get a knockout. Like, bro, I know people say that, but I really don't believe a true hardcore MMA or UFC fans have that opinion. I think it's a casual take, or people just trying to rage bait, or just Conor fans, because of course he has a lot of fans. But yeah, it's not gonna make sense, man. It's not gonna make sense. I'm gonna go with Max Holloway. I don't think Conor is going to have the cardio. I don't think so. I'm not picking Max Holloway to win by KO because Max Holloway is some knockout guy or anything like that. I'm picking it because I think Conor is gonna gas out. I think so. Like, it just doesn't make sense that he's gonna fight 5 rounds after so long and everything has been going through. But hey, what the hell do I know? I'm just a YouTuber, man. I ain't no fighter. Look at this shit, bro. 74% picking Holloway. A lot of people picking him by knockout, but a lot of people picking McGregor by knockout. Hey, McGregor can knock him out, man. I think McGregor still has the power. We do. I mean, I don't know. This is not one of those ones that, oh gosh, the MMA gods are gonna cause an upset. I think we're done with those for the year. There's only so much, right? But Prime Conor though, Prime Conor McGregor was arguably the greatest counter striker the UFC has ever seen. For being real, like let's break this down on paper, right? Let's be delusional for a little bit and put aside all the personal stuff that Conor has been dealing with, right? Let's break this down like just on paper. Forget the time, forget everything, just skill set, raw skill set on paper. Conor, best counter striker of all time. That's facts, okay? Everything revolved around precision. He didn't throw combinations just for volume. Every punch had a purpose. His famous left hand still remains one of his most dangerous weapons in MMA history. All right, Conor excels when opponents pressure recklessly. But again, the question is Max Holloway reckless? The answer is no. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he gets frustrated that, you know, he's not being as dominant as he expected, and then he gets carried away. But Conor, he draws in attacks, slips just outside the center line, fires devastating counters. His kicking game is often overlooked, but he has good kicks. It's going to be interesting to see how much he instills the kicks though, especially coming off the injury. I know it's been 5 years, but his leg literally snapped in half. Best believe he still has PTSD, some type of paranoia from that injury. Best believe it. Of course, another underrated aspect of Conor is his timing. Very few fighters have ever controlled range as well as Conor. So Conor has the elite counter striking. Did a tape study on their first fight. It was there. There's something else a lot of people are missing in this fight, but we're going to get to that. So Conor has the elite striking, the precision, the distance management, the fight IQ, and he has better knockout power, right? But of course, he's historically declined after his second round high-paced fights. Like as the fight goes on, Conor gets tired for sure. And when it comes to like a grappling type fight, he lacks in that. But if he's the better grappler, best believe Conor is going to wrestle. And I think he's going to wrestle in this fight. That's what I said people are going to miss. There is a way Conor McGregor can win this fight. If he just says, fuck it, 5 years, I'm just trying to get a win. He's just going to lay and pray. He can do that. He's a better grappler than Max Holloway. That's exactly what he did in the first fight. He was beating Max on the feet, but Max was doing a good job landing those counters. But once Conor landed one takedown and realized how easy it was for him to have his way, that's what he just kept on doing for the rest of the fight. I think that's what he'll probably try. Max, on the other hand, probably, if not the greatest volume boxer in UFC history, his pace is unbelievable. That fight with Cater was crazy. He doesn't simply throw punches, he builds momentum. The longer the fights continue, the stronger Max usually becomes. His jabs are elite. His combinations from every angle, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Unlike many pressure fighters, Max maintains excellent balance while constantly moving forward. Doesn't slip up, and he's very consistent. So Max, what he has over Conor in this fight, the cardio, the volume, the durability, the fight IQ. But occasionally, he starts slowly. Recently, though, he's really corrected that. But he still absorbs strikes more than he needs to. Because he's a counter striker as well. But yeah, I think it might come down to the grappling, man. I think Conor has to wrestle to win this fight. He has more sting shots, like it hurts more when he lands than Max, but I think he has to instill that grappling. And maybe that's why the odds makers have it a little bit close than I thought it would be. Is it on here? Let me see. I don't see the odds here, but yeah. He's a slight favorite. Max is a slight favorite. But yeah, come on, man. It's obvious, man. I'm going to go with Max Holloway in this one. it just doesn't make sense to come off that long layoff and beat Max Holloway, man. Literally, they've had, bruh, their career right now couldn't be more opposite. Activity versus zero activity, right? Fighting the best of the best in the UFC versus zero fights, right? Being well balanced in his personal life versus a chaotic, like everything is opposite with these guys. So that's it, man. I got Max Holloway by a TKO.